Marvel Comics released their July 2024 solicitations, and with it came a bunch of new titles and new series, some which I thought were really amazing, some that I think are going to be absolute trash, and I'm going to cover those today. But once again, this was part of my original recording with the really blurry video. This will be the last time you have one of these old school videos where it's mostly pictures. You're not going to see my face in this one, but I do want to talk about these. Once again, the audio is really good. So you are going to have to get used to not seeing this face for the entire video, but you will see me at the end. I hope to see you there. Apparently, Marvel Comics have been loading up July of 2024 with a bunch of new series. I got 4 of them that I'm going to talk about today, going from best to worst. The thing I'm most excited about, and yes, I am very excited for this, to the one I'm absolutely least excited about. There's one thing that might actually affect continuity that maybe people would disagree with me on, but Venom just isn't doing it for me. But we do have a big Venom event. We've got an Alien Avengers crossover thingy. We've also got a sequel to what is being coined as the most infamous Spider-Man story ever told, as well as a miniseries featuring a female version of a male character that no one cares about, no one supports, and basically no one reads. But Marvel Comics will continue down this path into, I don't know, infinity and beyond. Is that what they're going to do with all these stupid ideas? But there is some good stuff going on here, and I definitely wanted to get the word out. First up, Marvel announced its new crossover Aliens vs. Avengers debuting this summer. The series comes from esteemed writer Jonathan Hickman and longtime Marvel artist Esad Ribic. A Marvel press release revealed that the series will be set in a gritty future with older and darker versions of the publisher's classic characters. The story will also introduce a new element of the Aliens franchise, exploring uncharted territory. Hickman himself shared more information with Entertainment Weekly. Probably one of the coolest things about the project is how we found really fun ways to Avengerize aliens in Alien Up Avengers, said the author. Hickman also believes that fans will be pleasantly surprised by the series, stating, "I think fans will be surprised at how elegantly some of this stuff fits together. It really turned out to be a chocolate and peanut butter situation." Man, I probably would have went with peas and carrots or peanut butter and jelly. Like, there's got to be something better than chocolate and peanut butter, but maybe he's a big fan of Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, I'm a fan of Reese's peanut butter cups. So let's not go crazy here. But that's not normally the analogy here when you have two things that go together. But I think Alien versus Avengers sounds like a whole lot of fun. They've certainly done a lot of Alien crossovers, a lot with DC Comics. Certainly have had Batman versus Aliens, Superman and Aliens. I think Green Lantern and Aliens. We've had a lot of Aliens like Judge Dredd crossovers. I think we had a Wildstorm. Yes, we did. Wildstorm Aliens crossover. Is that the best one ever? I know everyone loves Aliens Wildstorm. My favorite one is actually I think it's Superman Aliens 2, which I think was it Chuck Dixon? I might be wrong on that one, but I think that was probably the best one. But there's definitely a precedent set for Alien crossing over with established superhero characters and having a lot of fun with it. Marvel did do a lot of like Alien covers for all their heroes. Now we're finally going to do something with something like that. You know what's kind of weird about that? When you think about Aliens versus Avengers, I want a really rip-roaring fun time, popcorn entertainment, doing crazy shit. I want to see, a chest popper coming out of Wolverine, even though he's not an Avenger. I want to see all that kind of stuff. I don't think of Jonathan Hickman as fun. I think of him as an intriguing writer. I think he's a well-schooled. I think he has a really good style about him. But I don't think he ever goes out of his way to have fun in this comic book. So I do find him being the writer on this a little bit strange, but I'm willing to go with it because Aliens versus Avengers is supposed to be strange. I hope he doesn't take it too seriously because this isn't supposed to be serious. But because it is Jonathan Hickman, he probably won't ham it up too much. I think Esad Ribic is an awesome artist. We haven't seen Esad really work on anything in a couple of years now. But he's done a lot of really great work in the past. Certainly, he's very familiar with Jonathan Hickman. I think they did Secret Wars together. I think they've done a couple of projects. So Esad Ribic, really good artist to put on a book like this. I will definitely be there for Aliens versus Avengers. This doesn't solve Marvel Comics' problem that everything in continuity blows and is meaningless and doesn't matter because no one's going to Aliens versus Avengers for big, wild stuff that's going to affect continuity. You go to ASM for that. You go to X-Men for that. You go to Avengers for that. You go to Captain America for that. You go to Wolverine for that. And so they still got an enormous problem that they haven't fixed. But at least there's some stuff out there worth reading, and I'll definitely be along for the ride on Aliens versus Avengers. Could be a good time. Like I said, kind of an odd choice to give to a Jonathan Hickman, but hopefully he had some really good ideas. And in the past, aliens versus other superheroes has been really, really good. And I assume this will likely be a lot of fun as well. And it's got a good logo on it. Next up, Marvel Comics has shared new insights around Spider-Man Reign 2, a sequel to Spider-Man Reign, teased late last year. The 5-issue series launches on July 3rd. The 5-issue limited series will reveal more experiences this older, grizzled Peter Parker has had to endure, from epic tragedies to inspiring triumphs. But hope always remains. In addition to the bleakest Spider-Man, fans will meet an all-new Black Cat and catch up with another Spidey. Peter isn't the only one who aged. Wait until you see what happened to Miles. This will obviously be written and illustrated by Carrie Andrews, who did the first Spider-Man Reign, which is certainly infamous. Marvel calls it the most infamous Spider-Man story of all time. I would say One More Day is more infamous, and I would certainly say that Sins Past is more infamous. But Spider-Man Reign is right up there with it. It heavily implied throughout the story that Spider-Man basically gave MJ cancer, and she died from that. A lot of people took it as like radioactive spider semen did it. Now, according to Carrie Andrews, who I've had on the channel, he showed up for a Comics Aficionados. We had a good discussion, kind of talking about Spider-Man Reign 2. He said, that's not in the book. He said, if you think that's what happens, that's what you're inferring. It's just that he was radioactive, which is kind of a take, obviously, off of Dr. Manhattan. Although that never actually happened in Watchmen. That was a ploy to kind of mess with him or whatever. That he didn't actually give his girlfriend cancer or whatever. But I'm along for the ride. I like Carrie Andrews. Like I said, he's been on the channel. He's a good dude. He's a fantastic artist. And Spider-Man Reign has issues. I personally don't think it was very good. And certainly they were trying to do something Spider-Man related in the vein of The Dark Knight Returns. I don't know that Spider-Man works for stories quite as dark and bleak and hopeless as a Batman character does in the future. But it sounds like Carrie Andrews wants to fix up some of the mistakes of the past and see if he can take this story that is infamous, and certainly some people love it, and I think Carrie Andrews certainly loves it. It's a piece of his history. I think this is really the first big break he ever got in comic books, and see if he can turn something out that maybe changes people's minds about Spider-Man Reign. If I was in charge of Marvel Comics and I had a chance to do a miniseries with Carrie Andrews, I probably wouldn't have chosen Spider-Man Reign 2, but this is where they're going, and I'll definitely give it a shot, but I'm not like super duper optimistic about it, even though I think Carrie Andrews is a fantastic writer artist. If you're looking for some really cool Spider-Man and you don't think Marvel Comics are delivering, I agree with you. If you go read the Carrie Andrews Erratic series from AWA, E-R Erratic, it's basically a very similar take on a very young teenage Spider-Man just coming into his own with his powers. There are some more limitations on Erratic's powers or whatever, but it's a really good series. I think there's 3 volumes of it. So it's not the biggest read in the world. I think it's only 5 issues each, but that one's really, really good. If you haven't discovered Erratic yet, definitely go check that one out. If you love Spider-Man and you're missing a teenage Spider-Man, that's a lot of fun. If you're missing a very dark, bleak, Batman-esque Spider-Man, you should be on the lookout for Spider-Man Reign 2 coming on July 3rd, 2024. Next up, Marvel Comics has teased a war is coming for Venom, and now we know it's coming in the form of a 4-issue series called Venom War, written by Al Ewing with art by Ivan Coelho. The series follows Eddie Brock and his son Dylan on separate journeys as the symbiote heroes. The Venom symbiote has bonded with both Eddie Brock and his son Dylan at different points. Now both Brocks are going head-to-head, determined to be the one true Venom. Father versus son in a showdown of showdowns that threatens to tear the world asunder. Al Ewing, I guess, has been leading up to this ever since the Donny Cates Venom run ended, obviously, with King in Black, to where Eddie became King in Black, the king of the symbiotes, and then Dylan Brock actually bonded with Venom after that, and they've been on separate journeys, one in the cosmos, one on Earth, and all that kind of stuff. And Al Ewing, I think, was writing the Eddie Brock King in Black stuff, and then Ram V was writing the Dylan Brock Venom stuff. I did not like the series. I didn't think it was a good concept. I thought it was stupid. I'm tired of everyone taking over like the mantle that people have. Now, certainly the Venom symbiote and the Venom mantle has been passed around. Peter Parker's had it. Eddie Brock has had it. Flash Thompson's had it. Lots of people have had Venom, and put it on a teenager, I think, is stupid. I did not like what Ram V was doing. I personally didn't like what Al Ewing was doing, and I loathe the concept of father versus son in this case. Eddie Brock isn't a bad guy, and Dylan, while troubled, is still just a teenager. I don't want to see them fight. And I imagine by the end, they'll be mad at each other, and they'll start to fight, and then a bigger threat will show up, and they'll go fight that or whatever. But even the concept and that being a selling point is an enormous turnoff to me. And just Al Ewing on Venom has been an enormous turnoff. The only reason I would ever even consider picking this up and reading it, and I'm not right now, is the Ivan Coelho art. He is absolutely fantastic. In a fair world, Ivan Coelho would be a superstar in his own right, but he is not. And he's stuck illustrating Venom War by Al Ewing, which I don't think is all that interesting, but it will look really good because Ivan Coelho is great. He's got really good horror vibes. He's got a good feel for superheroes, and he's almost the perfect artist for like a Venom series. Perhaps Stegman is better, but I would say Ivan Coelho is right there up with him. But Dylan Brock versus Eddie Brock to see who's the best Venom. No, thank you very much. I'm just not interested. And this entire run has been an enormous waste of time for me. But to be perfectly honest, I pretty much check out of almost everything that Al Ewing writes. I mean, his Immortal Hulk was pretty damn good for about 23 issues, but his X-Men Red or whatever that thing was, Sword, was not very good. It was constantly interrupted. His Ant-Man, like 40th anniversary was good, but then his Wasp book sucked. And then obviously, what was that? Avengers Incorporated, that thing bombed. He's going to be writing this Wonder Woman book up and stuff. But Al Ewing, I guess, is hit or miss, and he's mostly missed for me. Although, for some reason, Doc really loves his like Avengers and space bullshit, but he's just not my writer. I don't know why. Everyone likes him but me. So I will not be checking out Venom War. And there's actually one book that I'm looking forward to less than Venom War. And as you can see, I am not looking forward to Venom War. Elektra is back with a new series as the new Daredevil, taking on the new Punisher in a generational conflict. Elektra is currently coming off the heels of her latest miniseries, Daredevil Gang War, written by Erica Schultz and drawn by Sergio Davila. After working with Spider-Man to clean up New York City, Elektra is exploring what kind of hero she is now that she continues to carry the Daredevil mantle, especially in trying to abide by Matt Murdock's no-kill rule. The series will see Elektra traveling to Madripoor on a mission that brings her into conflict with Crossbones, the new Punisher, and more. And I believe this is also written by Erica Schultz, which basically makes this a do not buy, do not read, radioactive, gonna absolutely blow. Even if it wasn't Electric Nachos as fucking Daredevil. This was an idea that was perfectly fine when Chip Zdarsky came up with it. Matt Murdock is in jail, and he can't be the Daredevil. Electric Nachos steps up to the plate and says, Matt, I want to prove to you that I want to be a hero now. While you're in jail, I'll be the Daredevil. And then when he gets out of jail, she forgot to stop being Daredevil. She's not even Daredevil. It's absolutely stupid. The only thing dumber than Electric Nacho still being Daredevil after like 2 fucking years after he came back is giving Erica Schultz more work. I don't get it. Are you trying to make a point that you could make somebody a writer? It hasn't happened. No one cares about Erica Schultz. No one's going to be reading fucking Shazam. And certainly no one cares about Daredevil Woman Without Fear, which is a name that they already used on another miniseries for another event. I think it might have been King in Black or whatever. This is one of those characters you just ignore. Marvel continuously does this where they take established male heroes. Let's just put the name and the costume on a female character. Even if the male character's still there, alive and kicking, and has his own series, it's actually popular for reasons I don't know, because I think the Saladin Ahmed fucking Daredevil isn't very good, but like it gets frustrating after a while. So this is definitely something I wouldn't touch with the 5-foot pole. I wouldn't read this comic book with Doc's dick. Let's put it that way. That's how much I'm not interested or impressed by or have any interest in fucking Daredevil Woman Without Fear. Just another stupid fucking, I don't even know what to call it. Just waste of time, waste of paper. How many trees have to die so you could make Electric Nachos not Daredevil still? It's going to be the case in 2 years, 5 years, however long you decide to go down this road and try to make it happen. It ain't never going to happen. And that's just the way it is. But those are the big things that came out that are coming out in July of 2024. We've got the Aliens Avengers crossover, which I think is going to be a whole lot of fun. And I'm definitely checking that one out. I'll definitely be reading Spider-Man Reign 2 from Kari Andrews, trying to maybe fix something that is a little bit not well received. The first one, people don't love it. I think he's going to try and do it right and maybe change some minds on that one. Literally zero interest on Venom War. If one of my friends tells me that Venom War is can't miss and it's absolutely awesome, I'll go check it out. But I'm not going to believe him until I see it. And then finally, Daredevil Gang War. Nobody could convince me ever that this thing will be worth a minute of my time, and I won't even consider ever checking that one out. So you got to take the good with the bad. And I would say check out Aliens versus Avengers. Consider checking out Spider-Man Reign 2, and probably skip the rest of that stuff. And there's certainly plenty of stuff worth skipping at Marvel Comics these days. If you're wondering, Wes, what did you think about all the solicitations that came out for Marvel for July 2024? I have your hookup. If you go and support me and the channel on Thinking Critical Patreon, I do a Marvel and DC solicitation reaction, not audio, but video, exclusive to Patreon. If you haven't checked that one out, we got lots of awesome stuff there. You can get all the audio files of all the videos that I make. If you would like to listen to the videos like a podcast rather than having to use YouTube, which can be a little bit cumbersome, lots of great stuff going on Thinking Critical Patreon. There's a link in the video description. I hope to see you there very soon.